Super excited to build these two dressers for my wife because I'll be saving a bunch of money. Well, and I love her. But this is not a video about building these two dressers, not yet, but there is one in the process. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell because that video is coming up real soon. But this is not a video about building these two dressers, not yet. Does anybody know what this video is about? Yeah, you. Yeah, you. No, it's not a cat video. We're in a wood shop. Why would this be a cat video? Seriously. Does anybody know for sure, for real? Yeah, over here. Oh, this is not a video about a cat doing woodwork. What in the world? I mean, is that what cats are doing in videos nowadays? Anybody know for real? Yeah, you. Yes, you're right. Building drawer. We're gonna be building drawers for these dressers. In fact, 22, 11 for this one, 11, that's 22. 22 drawers, dovetail joinery. I've got some solid pine, knotty pine, to build those drawers out of. I have to start by planing them down to 5/8 of an inch thick. I've got to cut them to lengths. I've got to cut them to widths on the table saw. Then we have to run them through the 4210 Porter cable router jig, or the 4210 Porter cable dovetail router jig. And we're gonna route all of those puppies up, build those dovetail drawers. You're gonna get to watch the process. I'm gonna get to do the whole thing, and we're gonna enjoy ourselves thoroughly. So, I'm glad you're here. Let's get at it. Hey everybody, Ronnie Hall, the Wood Ninja here with 40 Acre Oaks. And like the cat said, we're going to build some of these dovetail drawers for that dresser build I'm doing. Haven't built these in about 16 years or so, and that was clear back when I got this free jig from Porter Cable with the purchase of one of their routers back in the day. You can still find these for about 175 bucks to my surprise on Amazon, but check here on Marketplace. If you can look them up and find them for as cheap as I'm finding, then definitely get one. We got a long video here, so let's go find the wood. Where'd that stuff go? Ah, there it is. Check this out. Knotty pine lumber. This stuff is great because it's super soft, easy to work with, and it comes in really wide widths, 11 inches wide, so I don't have to glue anything up. But man, super cool, 10 foot long. I need to mill this down to 5/8. I only need 11 boards of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, I only need to go to there, so the rest of it will save, but man, let's get going. If you're wondering why I haven't made dovetail drawers in like 16 years or something, you'd probably be interested to know that our customers ask the same question, and it comes as a surprise to them when they find out we don't make our own drawers or doors for our cabinet product because we're not set up to do it efficiently, so we can't really make money at it. But we are set up to build the cabinet boxes and do all of that custom work efficiently. So we find that if we do what we do well and allow them to do what they do well, by the time they're finished with what they're doing and we're finished with what we're doing, we kind of meet up at the end and it all gets done and it works perfect. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Well, you know what they say. Well, it used to be it really satisfied. Now it's you're not yourself if you're not a Snickers person, I guess. But anyway, I'm hungry, I'm tired, it's been a long day, but I got all this planed down to 5/8. I decided to do the whole stack because I thought, what the heck, you know, and likely there's going to be pieces that are broken, knots in the wrong places, so it is what it is. I'll be thankful for it later.
On your mark, get set, go!
Here's all of my sides. Some of them need to be cut down to 5, the others cut down to 10, but there's my sides, there's most of my ends. You have one more size to cut, 13 and 5/16, so we'll do those and that'll finish us off for the chop saw. We got to check our dado. This is the test dado that I did earlier. Look at that. You don't want it so tight that you can't get it in, but you don't want a humongous gap either, but that's nice and tight. I mean, it moves freely. All right, so that's good. That's where we want it. Notice all of those rectangles on the right side of this page and all of those lines drawn in that left-hand column on the left side of the page. This is what I would call my cabinet cutout efficiency sheet. And before I had a CNC machine and cabinet vision to do all of my cabinet layout, this is how I would cut every piece on the table saw. Every part in every set of cabinets would get listed in that left-hand column along with the number of the cabinet that corresponds with it. And then I would draw every one of those pieces in on those rectangles, which represent 4x8 sheets of plywood, so that I could see how, when I was cutting everything, to best cut it, 1, quickly, and 2, to create the least amount of waste possible. This made me very quick and really utilized the material in the best way. We finally got it done, all ready for us. It's exhausting, took quite a bit of time, but the preparation is going to pay off. I'm ready to start dovetailing some drawers. I've got my Porter Cable 4210 dovetail router jig all set up, all tuned up, ready to go. I've done all my planning. I've got all of the markings. I know which direction to put every one of these pieces. I've made all the test fitments. I've made sure everything's going to work. I've got my Porter Cable router set up with my bushing and my router bit. I'm ready to go. But before we start to dovetail these drawers, I want to talk a little bit about why I have them in the places that I do. On this side, I have my sides. These are the 5-inch sides, and across the table here, I have the parts that correspond with them. These are the 5-inch wide ends or fronts and backs. Behind them, next in line, I have my 23 1/8 fronts and backs or ends. And across from them, the parts that correspond with those, the ends, or the sides, excuse me, that go with those. These are the 23 3/16 ends, and these are the sides that correspond with those. So all I have to do is really just pull and go. I don't have to do any thinking. I can put my music on, and I can just go into another world, and I can go, and there won't be any mistakes. So now, let's do the fun part. It's time to start dovetailing and assembling some drawers. You're about to think I'm the smartest guy in this video because check it out. 16 years ago, or whatever it was, I wrote in Sharpie all of the information pertaining to which way to put all of the pieces when I'm using this. I was doing my planning, so in the middle of the process, I didn't have to do any thinking. I wrote on here, look at what it says, the left and rights, or the sides, always go facing this way. The dados will always be facing out, and you can see when I've got this piece going this way, the dado will be on the left side, not over here, and the dado will be facing out. When I flip it over, the dado will be on the right side, and it will be, again, facing out. Now you're going to think I'm the second smartest guy in this video because I also notated everything on the top. Fronts and backs or ends, dados are up, and to this side until we flip it over, then they're up, and dados will be on this side. So I've made all the notations, all of my planning is done, I'm ready to go. Let's start routing. Start with a sample here. I'm going to talk about a few terms and sizes, all right? These are going to be our ends, or our front and back. Fronts and backs are going to extend all the way through from far left to right. So whatever the width of your drawer box is, it will be that length, all right? These are our sides, left and right. Whatever the length of your drawer is, simple equation is deduct the thickness of one of your ends. Okay, so we have 18, we'll deduct 5/8, gives us 17 3/8 overall. Because we've got 5/16 here and 5/16 here, you add those together and it's 5/8. Okay, and we've got our bottom. Our bottom is recessed down in, all right, dadoed in, recessed down 1/2 inch. That gives us room for our undermount drawer guide clips to mount underneath here. Now, I'm not showing how to set this jig up in this video, but I do intend to make a video to show that, so be looking for it. Because I realize that all of these knobs and levers can seem a bit overwhelming, and they're not that bad, but you do need to make sure this is adjusted right. Otherwise, your fitment won't be good when you go to assemble. Now, at the beginning of this video, you remember that I had a drawer and I made a circle around a chip right there. You see that? That chip out? That's where that happened. So I started putting that sacrificial piece in there, and you're going to want to do that because at least on the left side of the jig, on that lead edge where you see that chip out, there's nothing solid behind that section of board. So every time the router comes through there, it's going to chip that out every single time. Sometimes worse than others, but it will chip every time. It doesn't happen on this right side of the jig, but on the left side, make sure to put that sacrificial piece in. So you don't want to do all of this work on these nice dovetail drawers, only to have a nasty chip on the top of every one of your drawers that you can't fix. Out both pieces with one bit at the same time. I mean, just super cool. Okay, you didn't hear it from me, but I'm going to actually put a secret drawer in 2 of these big drawers, one for each dresser. It'll be like a pop latch. So when the drawer opens this way, you push on this drawer here, it'll pop open so you can grab it, you can extend it out. It's going to be pretty cool. You could put a gun or rings or whatever. So don't tell anybody, but it's a secret compartment. All right, I'm going to do that right now. So let's check that out because I think it's going to be really cool. Right? There's that. Set it aside. And each of these. Okay. This is my inside. I'm not going to sand the outside or the edge. And the reason for that is all I want to concentrate on here is the inside of the box. When I've finished building this, I'm going to do a finish sand all the way around to level each of these joints. And where the dovetails meet, I'm going to want to sand that too. But as long as I can get sanded and stained inside the box first, I can worry about this afterwards because I can reach it with the stain, not a problem, all right? So I'm just going to sand the insides. On to staining. But first, let's blow this place out. Yeah, look at that. You think I was trying to sell this for them. And really, I'm not. I just think it's cool. So I've got my sample piece, same species material, sanded to the same grit, sanded with the same grit. So if I'm going to stain this and it looks a certain way, I want it to look the same on the final product, okay? So I've sanded this down with the same grit, 220. and everything's ready to go. I've got a couple of different colors to try. Really what I'm after is I'd like to try, this is the stain that we used to stain the dressers with, and I'd like to try to match the color. Problem is, we're talking about the application on white oak with the dresser, and pine here. This is a much lighter color, so I don't suspect we're gonna get a good match. But I've got another color that maybe we can mess around with too, so let's see how this works first. Doesn't, I mean, it looks yellowish on the dresser, but it definitely looks yellow on this. Let's try this other color. It's kind of a weird green gray that leaves an orangey tone. This might be better in the end, to be honest with you. This was one we just had made for another job in Southern California. We put it on alder. So a whole different species of wood, giving it a whole different look. Write that down. Definitely looks green up against, go Ducks! Let's put some of this on the yellow. All right, now let's go check them. I don't think either of them are going to look good, to be honest. To keep in mind is that whenever you put finish on something, it's going to change the color slightly. See, none of those look anywhere close. I need more of a brown. Let's see if I can get a brown tint. Grabbed a couple other colors from the paint shop. Let's see what we can get out of these. This is fruit wood. Just make sure that if there's something you like on here, put it in the comments down below. That's actually really going to be nice on good. Ooh, nice. You can't see it because I'm in your way. Woo! Really dark. Oh my goodness, that's really pretty though. That's really pretty on pine. Kind of a bluey color. It's kind of high. So we got Valdez going over it with the Ipswich pine. Hey everybody! Look who it is!
It's the stain master.
It's the painter.
I brought you gloves. I don't know if you want to try these, but once you put this in there, then that can's no longer. You have to mark it for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't really do it. I wouldn't.
Well, I don't think any of this stuff's gonna work.
To come up with light browns is really, really hard.
Well, come up with something that matches that. All right, so there you have it. Which one do you like? Not for this, but in general. Provincial, slate, Ipswich pine, antique brown, fruit wood, slate I think. This is the Claremont color, Valdez color, and I just put some Ipswich pine.
I like this one.
You like it as an overall? I think this is pretty on.
Oh yeah. If you're going.
But it won't match. It won't match. But.
Oh.
All right, let's go check.
I came for a monster.
I've already sprayed the lacquer on these. Keep in mind, camera changes color, brings out certain hues differently. But just as a point of interest on the pine, any of those that you like, put it in the comment section below. I think I like this color. I just like it on here, not to match. That is probably the closest. That's the Valdez mixed with the Ipswich pine. From my perspective here, it looks close. You know, I might even be able to put more brown on this and get it closer. I put some of that Ipswich in that Claremont color.
And again, from my perspective, it doesn't look too far off. Looks terrible on film though, doesn't it? That one looks the best. That's Valdez and Ipswich. I think that's what we got to go with. It's the closest. I'm going to do it. Valdez mixed with Ipswich. So we're going to mix 1 part crazy with 2 parts. You've got to be kidding me. This is the color we used on the oak. We're calling it the Valdez color. So because that is the color we used there, it's going to be the closest for us overall. I'm going to do 2 parts that to 1 part of this Ipswich. Maybe not even that. I'll probably just do a half just to check it first. A little color goes a long way. Never forget that. Never forget that. So that was about a half. Let's go a little more. Okay. Now we go check, yeah? All right, got my formula here. It's a little bit of everything. So let's see what kind of mess we can make. Yeah, looks pretty close-ish. There's a color I'm looking for to match a table. It's a future project. This color is looking pretty nice for that as well. And it's on pine. Actually, this color looks really quite a bit like that table project. Little trick I have to see who in my shop is actually watching my videos. I use their stuff and their names written on it. So if Nathan watches my video, he'll probably say, "What are you doing with my glue bottle?" Then I'll know he watches my video. Right now he's just telling me he's watching my videos, but I don't think he really is. I think he's just telling me that to make me happy, or he's putting them on fast forward. But I'm using his glue bottle, so now I'm about to find out for sure. Let's put this together, huh? Hey, let's put this together. Okay, ends. Again, I like to try to make things simple. I know that this one wants to go on last. All right, probably should blow these off with the really cool blower. Power on. Get all of those yuckies out of there. Nice. Okay, let's start with this. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in each of these little things. Can squeeze all over the place for all I care. All right. Easiest to take a little hammer or mallet, work your way down. Some of my pieces were a little bit warped, so we'll have to clamp them into submission so they know what's good for them. That's what my wife did to me. Clamped me into submission. Nice. Look at how cool that looks. All right. Now, put the bottom in. This is the fun part. You just slide it right down that there track. Okay. Put a little glue into these little dabs along that surface part. Squeeze this back. Here, let me turn this way so you can see it. It's very satisfying indeed watching those go together. Work them equally. Okay, I'm going to put some clamps on these. that, we're left with a little bit here and there, a little bit of gaps and cracks. If you don't get everything set up just right, and in our case we've got some cup boards, and we want to putty it. I'm using this product. This is our patch wood filler, and I'm using the golden oak. You see how I did this? I'm going to spread it in with a putty knife, and you want to leave a little bit extra on the surface, but not so much it takes you forever to sand. Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention here? Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention here for just a moment, please? Yeah, thank you. I'd just like to make an announcement that we're ready to send all 22 of these Dovetail drawers to the paint shop for their lacquer finish. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. But before we get too excited, I should mention that there are 3 things we need to do to consider this job completed. The first is we need to attach these locking devices for the drawers underneath on the fronts. Second thing is the matter of we need to cut out our 1.5-inch notches on the back so that the drawer guides can travel through. And the third thing, also involving the drawer guides, is we need to cut those or drill out those little holes at the back so that the pins on the drawer guides can lock into position. After that, I think we've got this thing knocked out. So yeah, it's great. So, only took about 3 8-hour days, which unfortunately was about a day longer than I think any of us were anticipating. But that's okay. Great work, team. Great work. Always takes longer than you're expecting. But I think we're all in agreement that we all love this Dovetail joinery.
Yes!
Yeah,
buddy.
It's divine. Also, I'm elated that we were able to get these concealed compartments into 2 of our drawers, right? So, super rad, all right? But anyway, only took a little bit of extra time. Again, no problem, it is what it is. Now, if you don't already have one of these Dovetail router jigs, go out and look for one. Facebook Marketplace. I found 6 of them almost immediately, ranging anywhere from $65 all the way up to $180. But really a great opportunity to make some Dovetail drawers. Now, if you enjoyed this video and this project, all of you out there, make sure to subscribe to this channel. You know how much work this took.
Yeah, buddy.
And click that like button, by golly, and leave a comment, because I'd love to hear your comments, all right? Now I'm gonna finish this video out by doing those last 3 things. And so thank you for watching and being involved in this. Hope you enjoy making some of your own Dovetail drawers. Thanks, and again, goodbye.